Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1976's Revenge of the Cheerleaders. 1976's Revenge of the Cheerleaders. There's a cover right here, and this is a Blu-ray from Code Red. I believe it's out of print now. This is the back right here. You got some shots of the main cheerleaders. There's David Hasselhoff and some other shots of some action here. This is 1976's Revenge of the Cheerleaders. We have some wild little comics in the front here. Splat. Rah, rah, rah. Got the dinosaur right there from the Wheel Inn in California. Vroom. Here it is, folks. 1976's Revenge of the Cheerleaders. Now, as you know, I've done a review on this YouTube page for the original Cheerleaders film, the first Cheerleaders film, which is right here. I've reviewed this some ways back. It's on this YouTube page. Love that movie immensely. And this film, Revenge of the Cheerleaders, is really kind of it's kind of the third in the, well, really kind of the second in many ways, because the second was Swingin' Cheerleaders by Jack Hill. And this is all kind of a loose trilogy of cheerleader films. But definitely, I would say Revenge of the Cheerleaders has much more in common with the original Cheerleaders film in terms of just the wildness and the sexuality and the freedom of the film. As opposed to Swingin' Cheerleaders, which definitely has more of a Jack Hill exploitation crime dramatic bent to it. This is Revenge of the Cheerleaders, 1976. Let's get into this film. Essentially, we have the threat of the morality squad, in many regards, merging schools together. Okay, the higher ups merging schools together to bring some sort of morality police to the world of this high school. And this cheerleaders group right here, they kind of run the school, and they essentially are trying to fight this merger. So we're going to get into this film here. We have some wild stuff. Of course, I said we have David Hasselhoff in this film. We also have Rainbow Smith right there, pregnant. Yes, she is pregnant and naked in this film. There's Rainbow Smith right there. So we got some wild stuff to get into here. First and foremost, let's get into the music for this film. And yes, it takes place at Aloha High School. The music for this film is a character in this film because this film is filled with dance sequences. Yes, there are people break out in dancing, not in just the energetic energy of the ending title sequence, but throughout the entire film. I mean, not the entire film, but there are dance sequences that do break out, and they represent the energy of this film. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that this is probably one of the most energetic cocaine films I've ever seen. This is truly cheerleader cocaine. This is a cheerleader upper. This film, from start to finish, is extremely high energy. The high energy that you would see cheerleaders proposing to do at a pep rally, that is this film. It is wild and insane and coked up. That's what it feels like. And there's cocaine in the film as well. But the dance sequences, we have disco, funk, groovy. We even have, near the climax of the film, kind of this mysterious, dark, wacky score that's that's kind of playing out the story, coming to a climax and chase scene and capture and somebody who's been kidnapped and all of this insanity. But the film also has awesome 70s, rock, and just tons of groovy disco funk awesomeness, just played throughout this film. I mean, the dance sequences are wild. There is just so much craziness in here, and the sound design is also filled with screaming and cheering and just madness. There is a section of this film that is a massive drug-fueled food fight. Yes, folks. And it goes on with screaming and laughing and insanity chaos, a cacophony of cheerleader chaos. Yes, a drug-fueled food fight. Now, there's an awesome food fight in the film Hollywood High, which I will be looking at on this YouTube page in the near future. But this food fight is drug-fueled insanity chaos. When we look at the style for this film, um, this film is like I said, is high energy. It is fueled wildness, freedom, and just free, wild. I mean, the way teenage cheerleader film should be. We have amazing fades in this film. Swipes. Some scene, this one section just keeps swiping as the scenery changes. Awesome fades and of stars and circles and all of this stuff throughout the film, which actually the original Cheerleaders film also has. Even Jack Hill Swingin' Cheerleaders also has those types of fades. So it looks like all the cheerleader film had those wild fades. We've just a lot of high energy. We have some titles on the screen as well, kind of with time moving by and things like that. The camera is wild and free and oogles the bodies and the cheerleaders, of course, and the action. So the film itself, my gosh, this is a wild film. Of course, we had the basketball games. We have resuscitation by women's panties. We have a police search of naked girls against a cop car. We have a girl eating a guy's ass out while he makes a banana split sundae. We have dance sequences, as I said before. We have drug-fueled food fights. We go to the Wheel Inn in California. Where Pee-wee's Big Adventure also is with the dinosaurs. We have a kidnapping chase there, and dinosaur sounds throughout. We go into caves, and we have an orgy scene in the film. So there's so much wildness in this movie. When we go into, we also have, a rivalry with another school, of course. When we go into the sexuality for the film, we do have full frontal nudity for men and women in this film. We have an amazing shower sequence that is truly ahead of its time, being a true foam party. And yes, indeed, folks, we do see Rainbow Smith naked and pregnant in the film. If you've seen her boobs in Swingin' Cheerleaders, you know, with her areolas and everything else, they are quite the sight. In this film, they are rather pregnant larger as well, just great. And we have an orgy sequence with two of the girls and this one random guy out in the woods. There is tons of nudity, of course, lots of topless nudity, and David Hasselhoff is nude in this film as well, and just freedom, sexual freedom and wildness, and it's a crazy film. There's no film like this film because, I mean, you got the dance sequences, and the dance sequences are choreographed really unbelievably. Especially these two black guys, unbelievable, like what they're doing, and just everybody is just looking like they're having the biggest party blast of their lives. It's just there's craziness as well with the former principal and being a chef with a record and fire and urine in a bottle, and this crazy nurse that reminds me of the movie Porky's a little bit. It's wildness, man. It's so freaking high energy, cocaine, sex, wildness. And the girls are great. The girls are sexually attractive in different ways. These two girls are the wildest right here in the film, and everybody just looks like they're having an unbelievable time. And it is an adventure of many, many proportions. This is Revenge of the Cheerleaders. Wow, wow, wow. This is 1976. Cheerful Film Company productions there, Blairwood Entertainment, and the director, writer, producer, Richard Lerner. He directed it, wrote it, and produced it. What a wild cheerleader cocaine cacophony. None of the cheerleader films are as explicit sexually as the original Cheerleaders film, but this one is definitely, just second up on that, and it just has a great low budget vibe to it. Lots of crazy cursing in the dialogue. I mean, it definitely has the most cursing of the cheerleader films. I mean, just tons of fucks and everything else. And I think there's just one line that is unbelievable where one of the cheerleaders says, I'd like to be in her pants, or something like, I like to wear her pants, like be in her pants and shit in them. Something like that. I mean, just amazing, amazing dialogue in here. Viciously kind of crazy, cursing, violent dialogue at the same time. And lots of chasing and running and dancing, and the ending credit sequence dance of it just was as powerful to me as the ending dance sequence in David Lynch's Inland Empire. Yes, I said it. It's beautiful. 1976's Revenge of the Cheerleaders. There it is, folks. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like this one. Please feel free to check out all my other films on this YouTube page, as well as my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. Thank you, and good night.